Hello everybody, I'm Cecilia. Today we are going to talk about Boggy Creek, Camp Boggy Creek. Before I proceed, I will link all videos I refer to, as well as the patterns, etc. in the description box of my video. I did some research on the internet about Camp Boggy Creek, and I got some interesting information there. One piece of information I found very interesting is that the actor Paul Newman was one of the first founder members of this camp. I'm not exactly sure what his interest in this camp is, but he was one of the founder members. Actually, he's still one of the founder members, and I suppose he is instrumental in donations, either from himself or from other actors, to make this camp possible for the children. Because these children going to these camps, they go there for free. They never charge them or their families. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it works with the families. It says, okay, I want to read you a piece just now, but in this camp, they give children an opportunity that they will not otherwise have. And by the way, I also have a link for this camp for you. Now, I'm going to read to you a piece that I've copied and pasted from the website. It says, during each of our overnight, medically safe summer sessions, campers arrive for an experience of fun, adventure, and independence. The prescription for the day is fun, fun, fun. Laughter, giggles, friendships, and excitement abound on the 232 acres of tall pines and majestic oaks. While keeping everyone feeling safe, respected, loved, the staff and volunteers empower campers to try new activities for the first time. They have the opportunity to gain a spirit of accomplishment at every turn and to feel like a kid and forget that they have what they have. It really brought some tears to my eyes to forget that they have what they have. Read that. On these premises, they usually have medical personnel consisting of doctors as well as nurses. I also heard that they have a small ER available on these premises. They have ambulances available. And I think I mentioned it before, these camps are always free to the children. And because it's run with volunteers and donations. These volunteers will be like us, making things for the camp, but also doctors and nurses giving some of their time, and then donations from the public. Summer camp is open to all children 7 to 17 years of age. Now, these camps are presented for kids with the following conditions. They are all presented in separate camps. They have a camp for children with epilepsy, one for children with immune diseases, for children with cancer, and then for children who has either asthma, kidney problems, or craniofacial problems. They have a camp for cerebral palsy, together with spina bifida, a camp for children with heart problems, one for sickle cell disease, and I was surprised to learn that they have a camp for children going through bereavement. Upon arrival, each child gets a Boggy bear and their own Afghan. These Boggy bears are made by volunteers who sew these bears and stuff them. The pattern is available on their website. I downloaded one, so if anyone is interested, you can contact me and I can send it to you. Now, as I said, the bears are made with cloth. They sew them together and stuff them. But the yarn crafts come into play when they receive their own Afghans, which they can take home. These are either knitted or crocheted by volunteers. The blankets must be between 35 and 40 inches long, wide, and 40 to 50 inches long. If they're either too big or too small, the kids can unfortunately not take them home. I didn't see anything on the website, but it was mentioned that they use them for the adults involved in the camps. I have made 3 blankets for the camp. The first one I made is the cat's Meow blanket. I ordered a kit from Mary Maxim, and it came with red heart. Let me show you. It came with 3 cakes of red heart melange, or actually red heart roll with it melange. It's a number 4 yarn, acrylic yarn, and the color of this one is so appropriately called Catwalk. They sent me 3 cakes. I still have 1.5 of them left over. The complementary color they sent with is Premier Anti-Pilling Everyday Worsted. It's also an acrylic yarn, also number 4. It's 100-gram cakes. They sent me 4 skeins, of which I have 2 left. Maybe not 2 full skeins. The one is, I used very little of the second of this one, so it's almost 2 full skeins. The color of this one is called Meadow. Now, when you order it on the website, you can choose your the 2 colors. They give you certain options, so you can choose, and this is the one I chose. I'll later insert some pictures of the blankets because I don't think it's possible for me to show it in totality to you on the video here. But this is my cat's Meow blanket. Now, for full disclosure, I didn't use the stitch that they had in the pattern. They used the half double crochet 2 together stitch, where you do a half double crochet 2 together, and when you do the following one, you use the stitch where you already worked and the following, and then you use the one that you've worked and the following. So your stitch count remains the same, although you're doing a two together stitch. I made a gauge swatch and I didn't like the stitch. I didn't like, that's just me. I didn't like it. And also when I measured my gauge, it was going to give me a blanket that was too big. It was going to be more than 40 inches wide. It was going to be almost 50 inches wide. So I switched it and I just used ordinary, plain and simple half double crochets, and you can see it didn't turn out too bad. I actually like it much better than the double crochet two together, and in the end it's also much easier to work. It's also much easier to work. Now, those of you who watch Shannon's channel will know that she designed a pattern that she affectionately named after her mom. Now, her mom has already passed away, but she used to be a quilter. She made lots and lots of quilts. And she would often make one that was called Trip Around the World. I think that will be available somewhere for quilters. I don't do quilts, so I don't know. But Shannon decided to make a crocheted version of the Trip Around the World, and then she named it Joy's Trip. So she had a video the other day where she invited crocheters to make this blanket, send her the picture, which she will then add their name in a giveaway when she will draw somebody's name and they will get something. No, I'm sure people making it, they're not making it because they want to get something from Shannon. I certainly did not do that. But I made 2 blankets in this pattern because it's a very nice pattern to work. It works, it's lovely to work it. Let me just see if I said everything. Yeah. Now, the first one I did with scrap yarn or leftover yarn from all my previous projects. This one turned out a little bit different than what I was initially intended for it. It starts here. There's my square in the middle. And then I worked it. And then I decided, okay, I'll work it until it's 40 inches wide so that I can have the maximum size for the blanket. And I worked, and then I measured, and I worked a bit, and I measured. And then when I came to 40 inches, I thought, okay, now it's time to stop. And when I was planning in my head, I was looking exactly how it's going to work. I realized I measured it in the wrong direction. I actually later asked my husband in which direction he would measure the 40 inches. And he said in the same direction that I did it. I measured my 40 inches. I'll show you just half of it. I measured it in this direction, thinking that this will give me 40 inches and then I can just work until I get to the 50, but that's not how you're supposed to measure it if you want to get the correct measurement. I'll show you how to measure in case some of you don't know. You have to measure in the direction here where you usually add the first block. You have to measure in that direction. That is the longest one. In any case, I didn't feel like taking everything out at that stage, so I decided what I will do to get straight edges is I'll fill up the triangles so that I can have my straight edge like this instead of the way that I'll show you the next one. So I had to do triangles here. I had to do another type of triangle at the top. And I had to do triangles along this side, etc., until I came to the other one. But I think it turned out quite well in the end. It still looks like Joy's trip. The very last one I made, I ordered some, let me see what's the name of the yarn. I wrote it down. Yeah, I made the third blanket with loops and thread, soft, classic neon yarn from Michael's. All the colors are neon colors except for the black. Now this one, I got it right, and I measured my 40 inches in the correct direction. The black one being the middle, I measured it in this direction. So when I end the blanket, I have squares on my edges. This blanket is 50 inches by 39 inches. I only had place to do a single crochet, one row of single crochets as a border. In the other one, I did a few rows of single crochets for the border. If you're interested to make some blankets, I will advise you to check out the video of the Boggy Creek Blanket Brigade. You can make these blankets from any pattern that you want to. You don't have to use a specific pattern. But if you're looking for patterns, in those videos they have some patterns linked that people designed specifically for making blankets for Boggy Creek. Now, my friends, this is all I have for today. So I greet you and I wish you a very happy rest of the week. Bye.